What's going on, Sparks fans? I go by the name of DJ Tricey Trice, and welcome to the very first episode of The Spark, which is a fan commentary podcast for the Los Angeles Sparks, the WNBA team. Y'all, I am a Los Angeles local. So I just moved here a couple years ago, and when I moved here, it was important for me to, one, live close to the crypto.com arena because I'm a huge basketball fan, but to also support my local teams. And what better way to do that than to make a little noise with a podcast, right? Some of y'all might know me from my NBA podcast, Lakers I Choose You, which is the same kind of format just for NBA teams. But since the WNBA is roaring now, women's basketball is picking back up, I truthfully haven't been a fan in about, I would say, like the last 5 or 6 years. I haven't really been paying attention to the WNBA, just things in my career, things with also me moving. I moved here a few years ago, like I just mentioned. So it's time for me to jump back in. If you are a new fan of the WNBA and the Los Angeles Sparks, and you right here with me, don't feel like when you come to this podcast, you gotta, have it all together. I'll explain everything. Most times I'll add video clips and things like that. So if you are a new fan, come along on this journey with me, y'all. I am enjoying the ride, and I actually attended the home opener, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this episode. The first thing that I wanted to do after I welcomed the fans to this podcast was to talk about the WNBA a little bit, right? So I listened to a podcast called Queens of the Court, hosted by Jordan and Cheryl Swoops. I'm sorry. It's an actual WNBA podcast, and it's with Odyssey. That podcast actually is my go-to for all of what's happening in the W, like keeping on the pulse. On this podcast, I'm only going to focus on the Sparks because that's really all I care about, right? I want all LA teams to championships in 2023. That's just what's happening for me. But specifically talking about the WNBA, I didn't know, I guess, that the way that the rosters are set up and the way that the draft happens, that the training camp is basically like an interview for your job every single year. Like, there's nothing that you can do to not have to prove yourself every single year because there are only so many roster spots. So there were a lot of rookies that were drafted in the WNBA draft who actually already have been waived and cut from the team. Specifically on the LA Sparks, Monica from the Final Four Iowa team, played with Caitlin. So that's a huge thing. I did not know about that. And my question to the WNBA is, why the hell isn't that a reality show, right? I think that would be some of the most entertaining content to consume, is like everybody, all these women in this battleground kind of atmosphere where you have to prove yourself. You also are bringing in the rookies and you're trying to get them adapted to your style of play, especially if you're a championship team. The drama, so WNBA, if y'all are listening to my podcast by chance, I will be your producer. I already got the plan in my head. I know how we can make this a money-making reality show, but it should be called a tournament, the camp, or something. Man, this is some final gauntlet kind of thing because a lot of people got cut, waived. Yang, Ray Burrell, Carly was cut, but then Carly came back. Like I said, Monica was waived from Iowa. Crystal Bradford and Rashonda Gray were also waived. So stay close to this YouTube channel if y'all are watching this in the video version. But if you're listening to the audio, follow me on YouTube at DJ Tricey Trice. And I am going to do a full roster update since now everything has settled. The dust is settled and we've got the final roster. I'll be doing a player by player analysis just to let you know who's cooking with what, who's a guard, who's a forward, that kind of thing. I told you, if you're a beginning fan, you can trust me to go along the way because I'm doing a lot of my research as well to see what the new team has got to offer. So the home opener recap, y'all, it was a magical night. First of all, I got baseline tickets and I would use the Game Time app if I was y'all. That's something that I use, just Game Time. They allow you to get these last minute tickets for cheap, but we bought them in advance because we knew it was going to be BG's first game back. So we ended up getting baseline tickets. So we're sitting close enough to, where they throw the ball out and they fall all into the crowd. That's where we were sitting. It was beautiful. I mean, it was just, you could see it. All the celebrities was there. I mean, our seats was behind Robert Ory and Magic Johnson. So we're sitting in prime location. Allison Felix, the track star, was sitting in front of us. Vice President Kamala Harris showed up. Paul Gasol was in the building. Leslie Jordan was in. It was literally so many people that was there that you just couldn't turn your head without seeing somebody who was a notable name. Dawn Staley was in the building checking out her rookie Zaya Cook in the first game. Zaya cooked it up. I mean, it was great time. It was a great time. So the starting five for the home opener against the Phoenix Mercury was Jordan Canada, Lexi Brown, Laisha Clarendon, Nneka and Shanae, the Ogwumike sisters. Oh my God, seeing them in person, they are a force to be reckoned with. Just sister, all in the mix. Nneka came out as the top player of the game. I was a little worried at the beginning. I ain't even gonna lie. We was down by like 10 in the first couple minutes. What the hell is happening here? Hoping like we were going to win that first game, and the ladies did not disappoint. I mean, we came back, we got our defense right, and the scoring was just off the chain. I am really looking forward to this first season, to seeing what the Sparks can do here. Like, there are some super teams in the league. I just saw New York Liberty game this weekend. We had some record-breaking things there from Stewie, but wow. How are we going to compete against these other teams? I think some teams that can give us some run for our money right now: Chicago, the Aces, of course, and the Liberty so far from just what I've seen. The Connecticut Sun also, but a lot of faith in my team. So we'll see how that goes. Another thing that I wanted to point out was Shanae was on an episode of Kevin Hart's show, Cold as Balls, that's sponsored by Old Spice. But it was a really good episode just talking about how the players are working to build the league. Now, a lot of people have this idea that nobody watches the WNBA. They don't make enough money to support themselves. This whole mumbo jumbo, and a huge part of it is that the league is new in comparison to the NBA, newer in comparison to the WNBA. So a lot of things that the NBA has set, the WNBA is now building, and I love how these women are just empowered, right? Like, Nneka is the president of the Players Association, Stanford woman, really smart with business. Like, we want to see more of this. I'd love to see the behind the scenes, and also to be a part of building this great league. We talk about we want women's sports and shrinking the pay gap and all of that. And how do we do that? We support, we make shows about it, we make a lot of noise about it, we buy the tickets, as many as we can, you know what I mean? And so far, I think this has been the WNBA season to be reckoned with. The WNBA League Pass is out. There are so many different ways you can watch. They have a new distribution deal with Ion on TV. The games are on ESPN. Some of them are even on Twitter. I love that. Hell, I'll watch a game on Twitter. Anything that makes it more accessible to me. I do have the WNBA League Pass, and I do suggest all of y'all to do that so you can follow your home team. But I am excited about this season. New fans, welcome. Thank you so much for checking out the Spark. We're already 1-0. We got a couple games coming this week, so you can meet me back here on my channel every Monday. There will be a recap of all the games for the week. I'm gonna just lump them all in the one episode. But if you follow my channel, all of my shorts will be play-by-play after the game. So the morning after every game, come to my channel and see a short. But every Monday, you can catch me here locked in with the Spark. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all after game 2, 3, and 4. See you soon.